The alien scouts moved quietly through the black void, their sleek ships gliding past stars and debris. On the bridge of the lead ship, Commander Vrax stared at the readings on the console. "Nothing unusual," he said, though a faint unease tugged at him. His crew laughed. "Another empty rock," one muttered. "We'll take the resources, and no one will stop us." Below them, a planet swirled with green forests, blue oceans, and clouds that shone under its sun. It looked peaceful, almost fragile. Vrax smirked. "Look at this world. Tiny life. Weak atmosphere. Easy pickings." He tapped the screen, marking landing zones and resource sites. The scouts continued their sweep, unaware that the planet was alive in ways they could not yet see. Far beneath the surface, enormous creatures shifted in their tunnels. Massive machines hummed with energy, hidden deep inside mountains. The Deathworlders, as they called themselves, were not ordinary humans. They had lived on a harsh planet where survival required strength, intelligence, and patience. They had waited for this moment, knowing that any threat would come. On the scout ships, readings flickered strangely. Sensors detected energy bursts too fast, too large to be natural. One of the junior officers frowned. "Commander, there are signals, movement, but no ships." Vrax waved his hand. "Ghosts? Signals from a primitive species? Ignore them." His voice was calm, but a shadow of doubt passed across his face. The first landing party touched down in the northern forest. The ground seemed normal at first. Birds chirped, and small animals darted between the trees. The aliens laughed again. "See? Nothing to fear. They are weak, slow, and insignificant." They moved deeper, scanning for materials to claim. Suddenly, the air vibrated. A low hum shook the trees. The alien soldiers paused, scanning the area. Nothing visible appeared. Then, a massive shape burst through the forest canopy, a creature taller than any alien ship, its eyes glowing like molten fire. It moved with terrifying speed, but vanished as quickly as it appeared. Panic rose in the landing party. Vrax's communicator crackled. "Commander, sensors. Something big, hiding everywhere." His hand tightened on the console. The planet was not as empty as he thought. A tremor ran through the ground, and the aliens felt it. They were not invaders on a simple world. They were trespassers on a death world. Above, the rest of the fleet hovered, scanning for signs of trouble. "Commander, the planet's defenses are unusual," reported one of the lieutenants. The readings made no sense. Energy bursts, unexplained signals, shadows moving under the clouds. Vrax frowned. He had never seen technology like this, and yet it seemed primitive in some ways. "We will proceed. We will take what we want." His voice was firm, but tension crept in. Back on the planet's surface, the Deathworlders watched. They had known this day would come. Their scouts had detected alien transmissions weeks ago, and they had prepared in secret. Their ships were hidden in valleys and caves. Weapons lay dormant, waiting for the command to awaken. Humans on the planet were not just survivors, they were predators in their own right, forged by generations of deadly conditions. The aliens made their first move. A small drone shot out from the landing party, scanning the area for minerals. The drone hovered for a few seconds, then exploded violently. Shock waves threw aliens off their feet, and smoke filled the forest. Vrax's eyes widened. What is this?" he whispered. "Impossible. Nothing should be here." Silence followed for a moment, then another explosion in the distance. The Deathworlders were striking back, but subtly. They did not reveal their full strength yet. Every move was calculated, designed to confuse and terrify the invaders. The aliens began to retreat, but their pride would not let them flee. "We will crush them," Vrax shouted, masking the fear in his voice. In orbit, the alien fleet sensed a shift in the planet. Energy readings spiked, and strange patterns appeared on their displays. Something intelligent was controlling it all, something they could not see. Panic began to creep through the crews. "Commander, the planet, it's alive. I mean, it's reacting." Vrax slammed his fist on the console. "Stay calm. It's just tricks, illusions. We are superior. We will adapt, and we will conquer. But even as he said the words, the tremors shook his ship, and an unexplainable shadow passed over the fleet. Something enormous moved beneath the planet's surface, something that could end them in minutes if provoked. On the forest floor, the landing party regrouped, shaken but alive. They looked at the empty space where the giant creature had appeared. There was no trace, only scorched earth and broken trees. Vrax swallowed hard. We underestimated them. Big mistake. The planet waited silently, as if it knew what was coming next. And the Deathworlders, hidden and patient, were ready to remind the universe why no one should ever push them too far. The alien fleet hung in the black sky above the planet, their ships gleaming under the light of distant stars. Commander Vrax could feel the tension among his crew. Reports were coming in fast. Drones destroyed, unexplained energy bursts, and strange movements under the ground. The planet was no longer just a target. It was a threat. Commander, Lieutenant Krell's voice trembled slightly over the comms. Our sensors, they keep detecting large signatures. Ships, or something else. I can't tell. They appear and disappear. Vrax clenched his jaw. Nothing can hide from us. Focus your scans. Pinpoint the source. But even as he spoke, another tremor shook the fleet. His pride and confidence battled the unease in his chest. They had thought this world weak, unworthy of fear, and now every second proved them wrong. On the surface, the Deathworlders moved swiftly. Their scouts, blending with forests and mountains, observed every alien move. Nothing escaped their notice. In the distance, massive war machines stirred silently, hidden from orbit. The humans had prepared for centuries for this moment. To them, this was no mere battle. It was survival. The first alien landing team advanced toward a valley rich with minerals. They had barely reached the edge when the ground beneath them erupted. Huge boulders shot into the air, blocking their path. The soldiers fired blindly, but the projectiles vanished into a wall of shimmering energy. Vrax cursed. They have defenses, advanced ones. Suddenly, a hidden ship surfaced from the valley floor. Sleek, fast, and unlike anything the aliens had seen, it fired a pulse of energy that disabled several alien drones instantly. Explosions lit up the forest, throwing the landing team into chaos. "Retreat! Retreat!" shouted one officer, but Vrax's voice rang over the comms. "Hold your ground. We are superior. Do not run." Above, the alien fleet tried to coordinate, but the planet's strange energy readings scrambled their communications. Ships that should have responded failed to move. Systems blinked and flickered, leaving crews in confusion. It was as if the planet itself was fighting back, guiding the Deathworlders' actions. Lieutenant Krell gripped his console. "Commander, they are attacking with tactics. Highly coordinated. Almost like they predicted our moves." Vrax's face darkened. He had never faced an enemy like this. The Deathworlders were not only strong, they were clever, deadly, and patient. Every attack seemed designed to test the aliens, probe their weaknesses, and sow panic. The alien fleet retaliated, firing their main weapons at the forest below. Massive energy beams cut through the trees, and explosions shook the ground. For a moment, it seemed the aliens would succeed. But then the Deathworlders' real power emerged. Hidden machines rose from underground, emitting energy shields that absorbed the attacks. Giant, fast-moving vehicles charged at the alien landing parties, striking with precision and disappearing before the aliens could respond. Vrax watched helplessly as his forces were thrown into chaos. "Pull back! Fall back to the ships!" he commanded, but pride would not let him abandon the surface completely. Every second, the Deathworlders revealed more of their hidden strength, leaving the aliens shocked and terrified. From orbit, massive figures moved beneath the forests. Creatures of enormous size and power, unseen before, struck at alien ships with sudden, violent force. The fleet shook as energy pulses from the planet disabled weapons and shields. Panic spread like wildfire among the alien ranks. No one had expected the planet's inhabitants to fight back with such intelligence and strength. In the midst of the chaos, Vrax realized the terrifying truth. This planet was a death world, not just in name, but in every sense. Its people had survived conditions that would destroy ordinary species, and they were prepared for invaders like him. Every move, every trap, every weapon was calculated. The alien landing team scrambled to regroup, their pride shattered. "Commander! They're everywhere! How can this be?" one officer shouted. Vrax stared at the readings, sweat running down his face. "They are not just defending, they are hunting us." The words tasted bitter, but they were true. The Deathworlders were not afraid. They had turned the hunter into the hunted. Even as he ordered a retreat, Vrax's mind raced. The aliens had underestimated the planet, underestimated its people, and now they faced a force that could destroy their fleet. And the worst part? They had only seen a fraction of what the Deathworlders could do. On the forest floor, the humans watched the aliens retreat, but they did not celebrate. They were calm, silent, and ready. They knew this was just the beginning. The aliens had pushed too hard, and now the planet would respond with its full power. Above, the alien fleet limped away, battered and confused. Commander Vrax clenched his fists, staring at the planet. The battle had only begun, and already, he felt fear he had never known. The Deathworlders waited patiently. The universe would soon learn that no one should ever push humans too far. And the alien invaders would remember this day forever. The alien fleet hovered above the planet, battered but not defeated. Commander Vrax paced the bridge of his flagship, his eyes scanning the blinking alerts and damage reports. His pride had been wounded, and with every passing moment, his fear grew. "They are stronger than we imagined," he muttered, though his voice was firm. "But no force in the galaxy can stop us." Lieutenant Krell shook his head. "Commander, their strategy is unlike anything we have faced. Every attack, every defense. It is coordinated perfectly. And their weapons. They seem to anticipate ours." Vrax slammed a fist on the console. "They are only a small force. They cannot possibly match our fleet. We will adapt, and we will crush them." But even as he said it, a new wave of tremors shook the ships. Energy readings spiked suddenly, forcing shields to flare and alarms to blare. On the planet's surface, the Deathworlders observed silently. From hidden valleys and dense forests, massive war machines moved like shadows. Humans in powered armor coordinated attacks, striking alien landing parties before vanishing again. The aliens' confidence shattered with every encounter. A group of alien scouts landed near a mountain pass, hoping to flank the humans. They barely stepped onto the ground when the Earth itself betrayed them. Huge fissures opened, throwing soldiers off balance. From the shadows, fast, silent vehicles struck with deadly accuracy. Alien energy weapons fired blindly into the dark, but nothing connected. The humans were ghosts, everywhere and nowhere at once. Vrax watched the battle unfold on his console, disbelief etched on his face. "Impossible! They should not be able to move like this," he whispered. "They are faster, smarter, and stronger than any species we have ever encountered." In orbit, alien communications faltered. The planet's strange energy pulses interfered with sensors and transmissions. Attempts to regroup failed. Ships collided, shields flared, and small crafts plummeted toward the surface. Panic spread across the fleet. Officers shouted orders that could not be obeyed. Crew members stared at displays in shock, realizing their weapons and strategies were useless. The Deathworlders struck again. Hidden ships launched from valleys, their engines silent but deadly. Energy beams ripped through the alien ranks, disabling multiple ships at once. In the forests, massive creatures emerged from deep tunnels. Their size was terrifying, and their attacks precise. Alien soldiers fled in confusion, unsure where the next strike would come from. Vrax clenched his jaw. "This is no longer a skirmish. It is a full-scale battle, and we are losing." He turned to his officers. "Prepare the fleet. If we cannot win here, we will fight from orbit. Do not underestimate them. But do not retreat. Not yet." The Deathworlders, meanwhile, watched the alien commanders scramble. Every move the aliens made was predicted, every attack countered. It was not brute strength alone. The human strategy, their knowledge of their own planet, and their patience turned the battle in their favor. Above the forests, one of the alien cruisers fired its main cannon at a suspected base of the Deathworlders. The energy beam streaked down, lighting up the night. Moments later, a massive shield of energy flared, absorbing the blast completely. Then, from behind the mountain, a hidden fleet emerged, firing precise strikes that crippled the cruiser. Alien crews screamed over the comms as alarms blared relentlessly. Vrax gritted his teeth. How can this be? They are hiding everywhere. Nothing is where it should be. The truth was undeniable. The humans were more than just survivors. They were warriors forged by a planet that demanded strength and cunning at every moment. On the surface, a lone Deathworlder soldier watched the chaos through night vision goggles. He adjusted the targeting system on his weapon, aimed, and fired. The alien landing party's energy shield flickered and died. Soldiers fell as the humans advanced from hidden positions. Precision, speed, and power combined in every strike. Even as the aliens attempted to regroup, the planet itself seemed to fight. Energy pulses from deep underground shook the fleet. Ships wobbled in orbit, some losing control entirely. The humans had turned the environment into a weapon. Vrax clenched his hands into fists. We underestimated them. We underestimated their world. And ourselves. His voice was tight with rage and fear. Every second, the Deathworlders proved why no one should push them too far. The alien fleet, battered and disoriented, hovered silently for a moment, trying to assess the damage. The humans remained calm, hidden in shadows, waiting for the next strike. The battle had escalated beyond anything the aliens had imagined. They had expected easy conquest, but instead, they faced a species that would not yield, a planet that refused to be taken, and warriors who had turned survival into a weapon. The Deathworlders had shown a fraction of their power, and the galaxy had yet to see the full strength of a species forged on a death world. Commander Vrax realized it, and a cold fear settled in his chest. He had pushed too hard, and now he would pay the price. The war was only beginning, but already, the aliens knew they had made a terrible mistake. The alien fleet trembled in orbit, their ships scarred and damaged. Commander Vrax clenched his fists as new alerts flooded his screens. They are everywhere, he muttered. Everywhere. On the planet's surface, the Deathworlders had begun their full response. Hidden machines rolled out from valleys and forests, their engines silent but deadly. From underground tunnels, massive energy turrets rose, their barrels glowing ominously. Humans in armored suits moved like shadows, coordinating attacks with precision. Every alien landing team faced ambushes from multiple directions at once, as if the planet itself had come alive. Vrax barked orders, trying to reorganize his fleet. Focus fire on the northern valley. Destroy whatever is there. But even as he spoke, energy pulses surged from below, knocking out ship shields and disabling weapons. Alien fighters spiraled out of control, crashing into forests and mountains. One alien warship fired a massive cannon, attempting to blast a suspected Deathworlder base. The beam struck, and for a moment, it seemed the aliens might succeed. Then, a hidden shield of energy flared, absorbing the blast entirely. From the shadows, fast-moving vehicles emerged, firing precisely. The warship rocked under the assault, systems failing one by one. Explosions rippled across its hull. On the forest floor, a squad of Deathworlders advanced with tactical brilliance. Every movement was calculated. The aliens tried to flank, but before they could react, hidden turrets fired, and massive machines crushed their positions. Soldiers fell in confusion, realizing too late that they were trapped. The humans were not just defending, they were hunting. Vrax's voice trembled as he shouted over comms. Fall back. Regroup. Concentrate on the surface defenses. But retreat was not easy. The Deathworlders anticipated every move, striking with speed and deadly precision. Alien ships that tried to escape were disabled by energy pulses or forced into collisions. From deep underground, massive creatures emerged, tall, armored, and terrifying. They struck at alien landing teams with brutal efficiency. One creature lifted an entire scout vehicle, smashing it to pieces before vanishing back into the shadows. Panic spread through the alien ranks. No one knew where the next attack would come from, or what shape it would take. Above the forests, orbital scanners flickered and died intermittently. The planet's energy seemed to interfere with alien technology in unpredictable ways. Communications failed, shields wavered, and crew morale plummeted. Vrax realized with growing horror that the Deathworlders had turned their home into a fortress and a weapon at the same time. The aliens tried a concentrated strike, hoping to destroy the humans' command centers.
Massive energy beams tore through trees and mountains, but each attack met resistance.
Energy shields flared, absorbing blows that should have destroyed everything. Hidden turrets responded instantly, firing at precise angles that crippled alien ships in seconds. On the ground, humans moved calmly through chaos. Soldiers communicated silently with hand signals and devices, coordinating assaults across kilometers. Every alien move was countered. Every advance met resistance. Every retreat was watched and punished. The Deathworlders were a force designed by the planet itself, honed by centuries of harsh survival, and now unleashed in full. Vrax gritted his teeth, staring at the devastation. "We cannot fight them like this," he said under his breath. Fear ran deep. They had expected weak humans, easy targets.
Instead, they faced warriors, machines, and creatures that defied belief.
Their arrogance had brought them here, and it would now bring them ruin. The Deathworlders struck again with precision. Alien landing teams were trapped in ambushes. Orbital weapons were disabled before they could fire. Explosions lit the forests like lightning. Ships plummeted from orbit, crashing into mountains and rivers. The aliens were being broken, piece by piece. And still the humans did not stop. Their patience, strategy, and ruthless efficiency created an unbreakable wall. The planet itself seemed to rise against the invaders. Vrax realized something terrifying. This was not a battle they could win. The Deathworlders had revealed only a fraction of their strength, and yet they were already unstoppable.
In the shadow of massive trees and glowing energy turrets, the humans moved like shadows, silent, deadly, and impossible to predict.
The aliens had pushed too hard, and now the planet was responding with full force. The first wave of alien retreat began, but even then, no one aboard the ships felt relief. The Deathworlders had sent a message: anyone who challenged them would face annihilation. And for Commander Vrax, that message was clear. He had underestimated them, and the cost would be catastrophic. The alien fleet hovered above the planet, battered and shaken.
Commander Vrax stared at the screens in disbelief.
Ships were falling, communications were failing, and morale had collapsed. His pride had been shattered, but desperation still burned in his chest. "We will not lose," he said, though the tremor in his voice betrayed him. Lieutenant Krell shook his head. "Commander, our weapons, they barely work. Their shields, the planet. Something is interfering with every system. We are exposed." Vrax clenched his fists. "We have no choice. We strike now, every ship, every weapon, everything. If we do not act, we are finished."
Below, the Deathworlders watched. From hidden valleys, forests, and mountains, massive machines shifted into positions.
Humans in armored suits coordinated attacks silently, communicating through gestures and devices.
Every move of the aliens had been anticipated, but they sensed something different: an intense wave of fear, a desperation unlike anything before.
The aliens launched their largest attack yet.
Massive energy beams tore across forests and mountains, aiming for hidden bases and energy generators.
Explosions rocked the ground, sending smoke and debris into the sky. Vrax's fleet fired back, targeting anything that moved. For a moment, it seemed the aliens might break through. One of the Deathworlders' energy shields flickered under repeated strikes. The humans paused, assessing the damage. Every second counted. One mistake could allow the aliens to gain an advantage. Then, the twist appeared. A massive alien weapon, unseen until now, charged in orbit. Its energy was unlike anything the Deathworlders had faced. Pulses of light shot downward, creating massive craters and knocking out entire sections of the hidden machines. Human soldiers stumbled, shields flickered, and for the first time, the aliens' attack created real fear. Vrax watched, triumphant. At last, they are vulnerable. He ordered a concentrated strike on the human command centers. The alien fleet moved with deadly speed, firing every available weapon. But the Deathworlders were ready. The planet seemed to pulse with power. From hidden locations, massive energy beams fired back, intercepting the alien weapon. Machines rose from underground, blocking attacks and striking alien ships with precision. Human soldiers moved like ghosts, appearing where the aliens least expected. The tide turned again. Alien ships were disabled, their formations broken. One by one, Massive cruisers fell from orbit, colliding with mountains or rivers. The human counterattacks were flawless.
Even the powerful new weapon had been neutralized by the planet itself, working with the Deathworlders as if alive.
On the forest floor, a squad of humans moved through chaos calmly. They targeted the alien landing teams with deadly accuracy.
Vehicles that had seemed invincible were destroyed in moments. Soldiers tried to flee but were trapped by hidden turrets and massive war machines.
Panic spread among the alien ranks. Vrax gritted his teeth. No, it cannot be. They are stronger than before.
He realized with growing horror that the Deathworlders had not only survived their attack, they had anticipated it entirely. Every desperate measure the aliens tried was countered. Every strike, every weapon, every plan had been predicted and neutralized.
Above the forests, the planet itself seemed to fight. Energy pulses shook the fleet, disrupting systems and throwing ships out of formation. Communications failed completely. The aliens were isolated, vulnerable, and terrified. The humans did not celebrate. They advanced methodically, striking with precision, patience, and ruthlessness. Every alien that fell was a warning, every disabled ship a lesson. They were a force of nature, born from a world that demanded survival at any cost. Commander Vrax stared at the devastation and finally understood the truth. He had pushed too hard. He had underestimated the Deathworlders, underestimated the planet, and underestimated what it meant to face a species forged in the harshest conditions. Fear filled him, cold and absolute. The alien fleet retreated again, but the Deathworlders did not stop their advance. The message was clear: anyone who dared challenge this planet would face annihilation. The galaxy would remember this day, and the aliens would never forget the strength and cunning of humans from a death world. The alien fleet hung in the dark sky, battered, broken, and terrified. Commander Vrax stared at the screens, sweat running down his face. Systems were failing, ships were disabled, and panic spread through his crew. He had hoped his last weapon would turn the tide. It had failed. The Deathworlders were not only defending, they were taking the fight to the aliens. Below, the planet pulsed with power.
Energy flares erupted from hidden sources, lighting up forests and mountains. Massive war machines moved with unstoppable speed, crushing anything in their path. Humans in armored suits coordinated flawlessly, striking alien landing teams from every direction. Each attack was precise, calculated, and devastating. From underground tunnels, enormous creatures emerged. They moved like living weapons, their strength beyond imagination. One swept across a valley, destroying an entire alien squad in seconds.
Another launched into the air, crashing into a warship and sending it spiraling into a forest. The aliens had never seen anything like this.
Vrax shouted orders, trying to regroup the fleet.
Concentrate fire. Focus on the humans. Destroy them. But every move was countered.
The Deathworlders anticipated their strategy, striking before the aliens could react. Orbital weapons were disabled by energy pulses, ships were trapped in ambushes, and even elite crews fell in panic.
The humans advanced steadily.
From hidden bases, massive turrets fired with deadly accuracy.
The alien shields faltered, and one by one, their ships were disabled or destroyed. The planet itself seemed alive, supporting every human move.
Forests shifted, mountains trembled, and rivers boiled with energy.
Every inch of terrain became a weapon. Vrax's hands shook on the console. Impossible! How can they have this much power? His voice was filled with fear. The Deathworlders were not just strong, they were beyond any alien expectation. Their technology, strategy, and the very planet worked together as one.
On the forest floor, a human squad moved silently.
They fired at alien squads with precision, then vanished into the shadows.
Machines rolled past, crushing vehicles, while energy beams disabled weapons before they could be used.
Alien soldiers were trapped at every turn, unsure where to flee or how to survive. From orbit, massive energy pulses erupted. Ships rocked violently as their systems were fried by unknown power sources. Some fell into the atmosphere, burning like meteors. Vrax realized with horror that the humans were no longer defending, they were attacking with full force. The tide of the battle had turned completely. Even the largest alien warships could not withstand the onslaught.
Energy beams struck from multiple angles, tearing through shields. The Deathworlders' hidden machines, creatures, and human warriors worked together flawlessly. Every strike was fatal, every move deadly. The aliens had no hope. Vrax screamed in frustration. "Retreat! Retreat now!" But it was too late. The Deathworlders pursued relentlessly, forcing ships into collisions and crashes. The alien fleet scattered, broken and humiliated. The humans and their planet had shown the universe the true meaning of power, patience, and cunning. As the last alien ships fled, the Deathworlders stood silently on the surface. Their machines returned to hidden positions, and the massive creatures disappeared underground. Humans regrouped calmly, scanning the forests and skies, ready for any remaining threats. They had won without hesitation, without mercy, and without revealing the full extent of their strength. Commander Vrax stared at the planet, his face pale. The Deathworlders had proven one undeniable truth. No one could push them too far. Pride, arrogance, and overconfidence were punished without mercy. The galaxy would remember this day. Humans from a Deathworld were forces beyond imagination, unstoppable, cunning, and merciless when challenged. The battle was over. The aliens had fled. The humans had shown their strength. And the message was clear. Any species that dared threaten them would face the full fury of the Deathworlders and their planet. The alien fleet had fled, broken and defeated. Commander Vrax and his surviving officers retreated into deep space, their pride shattered and their morale in ruins. Every report confirmed what they had feared. The Deathworlders were unlike any species they had ever faced. Every ship lost, every weapon destroyed, and every soldier defeated had sent a single clear message across the galaxy. Humans were not to be trifled with. On the planet's surface, the Deathworlders moved calmly among forests, mountains, and rivers. Their war machines returned silently to hidden bases, and massive creatures vanished into underground tunnels. Humans in armored suits scanned the horizon, alert, ready for any further threats. But for now, the battle was over. The planet itself seemed to breathe, settling back into quiet. Lieutenant Jara, one of the human commanders, looked at the fleet remnants in orbit. "They thought we were weak," she said quietly. "They thought survival was impossible for us. They were wrong." Commander RYK nodded. "They will not forget this day. And neither will the rest of the galaxy. Humans from a Deathworld are forces to be reckoned with. We are strong, we are cunning, and we will not be defeated." Far above, the stars shimmered as if the universe itself had witnessed the battle. The alien species that dared challenge the Deathworlders would carry the memory of this planet forever. Its power, its warriors, and its hidden strength. They had underestimated the humans, and that mistake had cost them dearly. The survivors on the planet celebrated quietly, not with noise or fanfare, but with a calm confidence. They knew the galaxy would send others, curious, ambitious, or foolish enough to challenge them. And they would be ready. Every mountain, every forest, every river was a fortress. Every human was a warrior. Every secret machine and creature was a weapon. Even as peace returned, a warning lingered in the air. The Deathworlders had defended their home, yes, but they had also sent a message. The galaxy could not push them too hard. Pride, arrogance, and greed would be met with calculated, unstoppable force. And in that quiet moment, humans on the planet knew one truth clearly. This victory was only the beginning. Commander RYK stood on a cliff, looking at the horizon where the last alien ships vanished into the darkness of space. "They will come back," he said softly. "Others will come, stronger, smarter. But they will learn what we already know. We are not weak. We are Deathworlders. And we survive. Always." The wind rustled through the forests. The mountains remained silent guardians. The rivers flowed endlessly, hiding secrets below. The humans walked among their world, ready for whatever came next. The galaxy had seen their strength, and a legend was born. Somewhere deep in space, alien commanders whispered in fear. They had faced a planet that would not yield, and humans who would not bend. And in the dark corners of the universe, others would learn the same lesson. One could not push humans too hard without paying the ultimate price. The Deathworlders had won. The aliens had been defeated. But the galaxy had only glimpsed a fraction of the power that lay hidden on that harsh, unforgiving planet. And the story of their victory,
of cunning, strength, and survival, would echo across the stars forever.